I didn't hear your phone, Michael.
I'm learning. I had it on
Okay.
silent already, so I'm getting better. Welcome, everyone, to our next episode of Count the Bucket with our panel back to being full. Nick, we missed you last week. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. And of course, CJ, always nice to have you, as always, rocking the Knicks hat. So we'll just go ahead and before we dive into the NBA, what's going on around, and then we're 6 weeks away, so we're really building up some momentum going into the league. So we're going to start breaking down each division, each conference, whatever you want to call it, each week as we get on up because there's six divisions. So we will be starting in the Atlantic one this week and working our way west. But before we get all into that, let's hear how you guys been doing. Nick, how's your week been doing?
My week's been really great, honestly. I know. I mean, we talked about it before we went live. I'm trying to kill this fantasy, man. I'm new to it. I'm still very new to it to a degree, but let's say I'm going to be 1-0 this week, so that's a good sign.
That's all that matters. All that matters. How about you, CJ?
Doing great. A little upset. My team lost today. Lost to the Dolphins, but other than that. Yeah, it's all right. I'll be fine. But glad to be here talking basketball with my guys. 2K just dropped on Friday, so definitely excited for that. Looking to stream a little bit more on Twitch. But I'll drop the plug after this at the end of the show. But it's been a pretty
CJ against everyone or something like that.
Something like that, right?
But I want to go ahead because you guys were talking a little bit about it. I want to hear a little bit about the game because I'm 36-year-old. I don't get too much gaming time anymore just because I have 3 little ones. Otherwise, I would be gaming it like crazy. My son all 3 of my kids went to a birthday party to a local store where it's nothing but like little game systems. While I was at work, my wife sent me a picture of my son playing on a, what was it? Nintendo 64, I think it was. And he was playing Super Mario, and he was absolutely loving it, So they got all these old school games like that, and, we just got a Wii from someone that actually gave it to us, so we're going to start letting him play a little bit of games like that because I don't want him to be completely consumed by it because there's a fine line there. But I could tell that my son's going to be a gamer like I kind of was too. So this room may eventually be a gamer / studio / sports room, and I am absolutely going to love it. But back in my day, it was easy to shoot. I know you talked about this before. See, I do have 2K22 or 21, and I played it a little bit, and I'll struggle big time to shoot. Is it just me where I'm old and haven't been in the game? Because, it was – I'll be honest with you. I'm so coach-minded. I would play zone sometimes, switch it up. I had offense where I'd run. I'd have the pick and rolls. I knew what was going on offensively with my guys. Now I come to this, and I can't do it anymore. Of course, I'm probably a decade skip. Have they fixed those errors where you can't just grab the remote and say, hey, I know I can do this part? Is it more like you almost controlling the guy with the triple threat, your jabs and everything? Do you have to get in that? Because I never tried to learn that. I just you know what? I'm going to run around here and get a pick, and I'm just going to alley-oop it. Triangle, alley-oop,
Right.
Triangle.
It's really a mix of what you said. I mean, I feel like the first part of what you talked about, how if you have the IQ, just knowing whether you played ball in years past or just just having knowledge for the game, you could definitely implement that into the game because it's it's based off simulation. And then you do have to learn some of the controls to enable to get an advantage. So I feel like if you combine both of those, it'd be pretty good. It'd be pretty good because some people have one and not the other. So if you're able to have, but if you're able to mix both, then you're looking at a pretty good player. I mean, they have a 2K league right now where it's there. Those guys, they have professional gamers. They're sponsored by the NBA teams, and they're playing for $500,000 at the end of the season. So it's definitely growing. They're in year 5 right now. So it's growing slowly but surely. But it's a good game. It came out Thursday. But it really officially came out Friday.
Right.
I was just on it just now before we got on. It's good. It's a good game. I'm a fan. In years past, it was a little bit too arcadey and not realistic like we're talking about right now. And I think it's a good mix between the arcade and the realistic, depending on the mode that you play on. So I think it's good. I'm a fan so far. You got to get your badges. Count the bucket, yes, sir. Get those.
We're still waiting on our cup, man.
Yeah. But once I get
where we at, man?
I'm flashing.
Oh, CJ, are you wanting one? I didn't know you was wanting one. I apologize.
Of course, man. Come on.
You got to give them for the whole team.
I apologize because I've got something here that I was waiting to open up.
Oh.
I had it last week for Nick, but he was a no-show, so I didn't open it up. I wanted to bring it up live.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
looky there.
My unofficial cup right now.
Yes, sir.
Not my hands yet, but
with a straw.
With a straw. Ooh.
So I will need your address and get that sent out to you. And CJ, I'll get you one as well.
Definitely, bro. I need one of those for sure.
Anybody else that's watching would like one of these cups, let me know. Send us a message on
$19.99.
$19.99 plus shipping. We got to figure out what the shipping is going to be.
About $2.50 for shipping.
So we'll figure that all out. But yes,
plus tax.
We'll get that
plus tax added to that.
Plus tax, yes. Plus handling fees and count the bucket percentage off of that. So it's going to be about $40 for that cup. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, seriously, if you guys want a cup, $20 plus shipping on that, we'll get you a cup out. So with that being said, one thing that I did like, and back to the 2K, what hurt me big time last year when I did play it, because again, probably a decade before I played it, I'd always be point guard and, I'd get the ball in my hand, do whatever I wanted to. So I created my character and I struggled big time. I could not do a thing. So next time I went ahead and just deleted that character, kind of started again, made myself a little bit taller because I could actually handle a little bit more abuse. So it's kind of more realistic on that. And still struggled to shoot. So I learned how to do like a backdoor pick, call it out, get the backdoor cut where it kind of does the half plays, if you will.
Yes.
And I basically, only way I could ever score is almost let them pass the ball to me at the goal and I could just shoot the ball and be done with it. That's all I could do. But you know what?
Go.
I was just going to say, I was still getting up there about 15 to 20, 25 points, 10 assists, because,
that's it.
Throw them dimes out.
So we averaged about 40 and 15.
I can't shoot. I seriously cannot shoot a three on that.
You got to go to the hole. You got to go to the hole, man. Each time. Get fouled, go to the free throw line.
I would. They have a mode called 2KU, which is like 2K University.
Mm-hmm.
And, they give you all the controls and how to play. And I'll just, I go in there for like maybe 30. And then whenever you get some time, here.
Gotcha.
So, just go in there for like 30 minutes or so, learn a couple controls, get right. Obviously, YouTube is like Google, but for videos. Gotcha. So you can learn how to, do some things on there. They definitely have a bunch of tutorials on certain dribble moves and shooting. So yeah, I mean, it's just like anything. You put the time in, you'll figure it out. But because 25 and 10 off stock is pretty good.
I mean, I made it to the Heat my rookie year. Now, just was in my rookie year. So me and Bam running the high pick and roll. I mean, it's Lob City over there at the Hill.
Did they draft you, or did you choose that team?
Hey, no, this guy is not being traded. I built that team. See me come out, unfortunately.
And the new one, you pick the team, but the first session is you're in the Summer League Championship. So you have to win that, and then regarding on how you play, it determines whether or not you're going to be a six-man or a starter, where you're going to be in the rotation. So, they kind of got rid of the college thing. The college thing was kind of getting played out, and now they brought the summer league in there to try to mix it up. But it's good. It's good. I'm a fan.
See, I used to in the older days. I can't believe I just said that. But when I was in college, I used to move the minutes up to like 20-minute like quarters, and like listen, I was winning games like over 200 points. Like, it was ridiculous. I had it down pat. As soon as they cross half court, I could steal the ball every time. Just go and shoot a three. It was arcade, like you were saying. Like, probably hurt me more than anything. So
that stuff is still available, bro. I'm telling you.
Really?
Yes. So, you still do some of those things.
See, I'm too poor.
Online, you need a team. You need a team.
See, that's what I was about to ask you. See, I wanted. Let me ask you, CJ versus the world. If I got me a character and pulled up online, would you play with me on that team?
You have PlayStation?
No.
The Xbox boy, let's go.
I mean, you got. I have. You got Series X.
I don't even know what you just said. No.
Okay. It's the.
That's the newest one.
Version. Yeah, it's the P5 version of Xbox.
No.
Okay,
I just told you I just got my son a Wii.
Okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'll see what happens. See
No,
if I get an Xbox One.
I can hear all those C's that you just dropped. That really means no.
I mean, I just don't have
You can see.
I'm more of a PlayStation guy, so
Mhm.
I haven't played Xbox since really 360. So
Okay,
it's been a while.
Let's be honest. Going from Xbox to PlayStation, because sometimes in college I'd play both. It's hard because the X button moves.
Yes. Right.
Did you all struggle with that too?
Because I'm like,
I did,
definitely early on. I did.
I can't remember what 2K was. I think it was 21 in my career. They asked me what team I wanted to pick. I think I chose the Knicks, and I can't I can't remember who my rival was, but I just remember during the draft, it was first pick. He went to the Knicks, and then I was the second pick, and I went to the Knicks. And I was like, "You talk about being so unrealistic, bro." The Knicks got the first two picks in the draft. Like, that's insane. I want to say it was 21. I think it was 21.
Might be the Jazz in the near future.
Yo, real quick, the Jazz jerseys.
I haven't even seen them.
What were they thinking? Like,
I haven't seen them.
No, you haven't seen those yellow joints?
I haven't. No.
Oh gosh.
Somebody pull it up.
I'm trying to see
Twitter
if
now.
See if I can pull it up. Those jerseys are rough on the eyes, man.
Really? Do you think Dwayne Wade has a pull on that one?
He's just a name, brother.
You really don't. He probably has like no control with that team at
exactly.
all.
He has no.
Are you talking about these here? Those?
Yes. Yes. But the away ones are just yellow. Those like dandelion yellow.
Those are like practice jerseys, to be honest.
I feel like it's in college.
Exactly. That's what they look like. They look like practice jerseys.
Yeah, like I don't get that.
Like I was going up against the Jazz, and I'm like, yo, this is their new jerseys. It just says Jazz, and it's like yellow. I'm like, what?
Have you seen this one?
That looks nasty.
That one looks.
I'm okay with that one.
I don't know why they got rid of the jerseys. They have one of the best jerseys in the NBA. Their throwback jerseys with the mountains on it. Like, that's fire. Like, why are you getting rid of that? I don't understand. That's just bad marketing, bro. I just doesn't make any sense.
All it really says. Oh, okay, just Jazz.
It's like it's generic. Yeah, what is that? It's a bad look, man. It's a bad look.
Utah is not a serious franchise right now, unfortunately.
Speaking of Utah, Nick, you weren't here last week. We kind of dived into the Donovan Mitchell trade. Give us your thoughts on that, and the deal within itself, and then what's your expectations for Cleveland?
I like it, honestly.
We're saying Mitchell's going from that to these jerseys.
Upgrade. Huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. Aspects. But man, my thoughts on the Mitchell trade, I like it, honestly. I don't know if y'all maybe saw me on Twitter, but I actually predicted the Cavs were probably going to be at least top four in the East, in my opinion. Like, when you think about it, you got Donovan Mitchell, who is. Ask you that. Okay, what is it? Go ahead, ask me.
Who's the top four then? If they're top four, because we talked about this.
We got three in the division we're about to talk about right now.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So obviously, okay, top four in the East. You got Milwaukee, obviously. Boston's going to be there. And then I'll say I don't know if I should go Brooklyn. I don't know if I really trust Brooklyn like that right now.
Okay.
I'll say Philly then.
I'll save it. Okay, Philly.
Okay, I'll say Philly. And then I guess Cleveland.
Over Miami?
For right now, yeah.
Okay.
I hate you.
Hey.
Hey, CJ, I have you a cup. I will send that to you if you send me that address.
I got you, bro.
He said I got you.
But I mean, like more on the Mitchell trade. I mean, like when you look at the whole dynamic of the team, you have a great backcourt. You got Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Garland's really ascending as a playmaker type, so him and Mitchell will be able to fit in that backcourt. Although, Rubio got traded, didn't he, or no?
No, he's still there.
Okay, he's still there. Okay, okay. So that's going to be interesting because last year before Rubio got hurt, he had, in my opinion, what was going to be his best season. Yes. Playing at that starting point guard, then you had Garland playing the two spot. So now whenever he does come back, I guess do you have him run the second unit, which honestly isn't too bad, honestly. So yeah, you got Garland and Mitchell in the backcourt. It's still kind of interesting to see because I was talking with my guy Agu last night. We were trying to see like who could start at that 3-man spot, whether it was Isaac Okoro or Seti Osman. Okoro is a great defender, great on-ball defender, but he's not the best shooter in the world, even though he is like very athletic. But Osman is obviously the better shooter, so I don't know which piece will possibly complement Mitchell in that wing position. So that'll be something that the coach staff will figure out. And then you got the Twin Towers as well. You got Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, who in my opinion was supposed to be Rookie of the Year last year, is going to take his game to another level. So Cleveland's going to be a team to be reckoned with, honestly. I know that people still have different emotions about the trade, obviously, but I think that they'll be up there as far as like one of the top contenders in the East.
Yeah, I think for that center, small forward position, I think that's definitely going to be the question there. I think it's pretty much just going to come down to who's hot in the game, whether it's like you said, Shetty Osman or Okoro, LeVert. So it's going to come down to those three guys right there.
I forgot about LeVert, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, they have some depth too, man.
So
off the bench.
Oh yeah, Kevin Love too. So let me ask y'all this though. So who do y'all see as being the alpha of this team? Because obviously with Mitchell having the experience, we've seen what he's done in the playoffs with Utah, but over the last few years, with Utah having the best record in 2021, and then of course them getting knocked out in the first round this past year, a lot of people don't really think that Donovan Mitchell can be the number one option. So who do you guys think will be the alpha? Would it be Mitchell? Would it be Garland? Like, who do y'all think?
Starting out, I think it has to be Mitchell.
Just because of the experience?
Yes. I think it's going to be I had it sitting here. I think it's going to be Mitchell. I haven't busted up a card in a while. I think it's Mitchell's team until Garland can blossom more and keep on going. I do think it's going to be possibly like a 1-2, 1A, 1B situation in 2 to 3 years. But I think as of right now, Mitchell's got to come in and say, hey, I've come from a team as Utah being the number one in the West. This is what we did during the season to be good. This is what I expect, and that kind of man in the locker room and be the voice on that as far as the leader. Because Garland, yes, he can lead them, but he can only say, hey, this is what I expect. Mitchell can come in and say, this is what we did and this is what we got, Now, of course, they tanked pretty much in the playoffs. I won't say tanked because that sounds like they meant to lose. They flopped in the playoffs, but at least they were the number one seed. Best records for like so many, 2 years. They pretty much was top tier as far as records in the season. So I think he has that background that he can stand on for that. And really, I think Mitchell is the better player right now. Right now.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I agree.
You better not be.
I think Mitchell's going to be the guy right now. Mm-hmm. Sometimes best player doesn't always mean alpha. But I think in this situation, just because of like you alluded to, the experience that he has in the postseason, the Cavs are trying to get to that point. We thought they were going to get to that point in the regular season last year, but they kind of fell short because of the inexperience and the young guys and Jared Allen going out in the second half of the season. That definitely hurt their chances and their seeding for Cleveland. So I think it will be Mitchell. And then I think in a couple of years, I could see Evan Mobley being that guy for the Cavs just because of his versatility at the wing position, at the power forward position. You need that. You need guys that could guard Giannis, that could maybe guard Tatum in certain situations in the fourth quarter in high pressure games. Bam Adebayo, Michael's team, maybe Butler and certain, just he has that versatility where I could see him being a really good two-way player. I was just watching his pro-am runs with Kevin Durant and some other players earlier in the offseason, and he was putting in damage. He was putting in that work. Mm-hmm. So I think he's in for a great season, and I'm excited to see how he plays. So I think right now, yes, it'll be Mitchell, but just because of the talent and the upside I see for Mobley, I think he'll eventually take that spot.
I get that. I can definitely see that. Mobley is really one of the guys that has one of the higher ceilings on his team.
Right here.
What is it?
I'm feeling no. I said I was feeling a sack right here.
What game you watching?
The Cowboys.
Oh.
Cowboys Bucks Sunday Night Football, brother.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sure.
How are you going against the Bucks, man? Come on.
I'm literally a Cowboys fan.
I'm joking.
How could I not?
I'm joking.
How could you go against the Miami Heat when it's the Golden State against them? Like, come on, man. That makes no sense. I know.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this. This is if Miami wins that series, right? You think it's a better series against Golden State? I'll start with you, Michael. What do you think?
Wait, what now? What we got here?
If Miami beats Boston, right, in the 7 games, say Jimmy Butler hits that 3 on Al Horford, and they go to the finals, right?
Oh, okay. You're saying the NBA finals. Gotcha.
Right. Do you think Miami would have a better shot than Boston because they have more experience?
I hate to be in a debate of what could have been, kind of, because you don't want to oversell one team or undersell the other. But I will say this. I feel like Boston offensively looked bad sometimes as far as dribbling, just flat out dribbling.
And Miami didn't? I mean, Boston was a better offensive team than Miami, if you think about it. Because you remember, Miami didn't have Tyler Hero for most of the series.
But Boston had a lot. I think, actually, I heard a stat mentioned on ESPN yesterday, and I wasn't even paying any attention. It just happened to be on. And it said that, did this ball go off the scoreboard?
It did.
Wow. That is crazy. That actually Boston's front court or back court averaged over 9 turnovers in the finals. And they were talking about how getting Brogg may help that. That's what it was. I was actually trying to look at some stuff for a notes tonight. That's what it was exactly.
But yeah, yes. I definitely agree. Boston not having a playmaker type role for that team definitely did hurt because Tatum had to pick up a lot of that slack. Even throughout the finals as well, which kind of took everything away from his game offensively. So getting a guy like Brogdon does help the team.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Miami being there before, I think that would have had some ease of the nerves. Oh wow, no, okay. No flags on that? Are you watching that, CJ?
Yeah, you'll see a couple seconds.
Okay. Okay, I was like, really?
Count the bucket is jumping from NBA, NFL, and every 10 seconds.
We're counting everything right now. But that's my only thing is I don't want to say that Miami would have beat them or anything like that, but I do think offensively, I think Miami was more versatile because we got to Boston and it was just either Brown or Tatum really with the ball trying to create, in a sense of something. And I feel like you would have got that Jimmy Butler, but they had an offense that they could have ran with pick and roll with Bam that we've seen. And then even with Tyler Hero taking his one-on-ones, even Max could have come out there and hit a couple big shots. And then you even had Tucker out there on the corner. I feel like it was almost a more spaced out offense that could have been maybe more of a problem, but I'm not going to say that they would have won or anything. Is that fair?
No, yeah, it's your opinion. I mean.
That's right, and it's always right.
So in my opinion, I think in my opinion, it really would have went the same way. In my opinion, just as Boston lost to 6, I think Golden State probably would have lost to 6 as well. I definitely get what you're saying, CJ, as far as Miami having that experience because we saw what they did in the bubble the year that they played the Lakers. Pushing that team to 6 games. Especially that infamous Game 5. When Jimmy Butler, that's true. So Miami definitely would have given the Warriors a run for their money, just like Boston did. But I feel like Miami just did not have enough on offense, in my opinion, and that's why I said that that Boston had the better chances because Boston did have the offensive package. Even though Tatum didn't play well, you got great production from Jaylen Brown. Al Horford came in Game 1 and knocked down a few threes. Grant Williams. Derek White. So, they had a lot more offensive production, in my opinion, than I thought Miami would have given because Tyler Hero was hurt for the majority of that conference finals. Yes. So the real only offensive option was Jimmy Butler. So obviously the Warriors would have done enough to possibly slow down Butler. So that would have forced other guys like probably Bam or whoever or even Gabe Vincent or whoever to really step up. But honestly, I feel like it probably would have went the same way. But Warriors probably would have ended up winning in 6, just like they did against Boston.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Nick. I felt the same way. Just even though we talk about Miami experience, Warriors had much more experience getting to the finals, and they're key guys win actually win the championship. So yeah, it was just something I was thinking about throughout the week. I just wanted to throw that by you guys and see what your thoughts on it.
I just wonder where Jimmy Butler is the man. I don't think he would have had a bad game like Tatum did, and I think that would have changed at least somewhat. I'm not going to say Game 7 or even turn it around where they win. I just think having your star player not crap the bed for 6 games makes a big difference.
I mean, just for Miami, and then we could get into the Atlantic Division, but I see them, and they're just still missing that other guy.
So Miami,
they're just missing that other guy next to Butler. I don't know if Bam is a true 2 second option. I don't know. To me, he looks like a 3 based on everything I've seen so far.
For them not to make it, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, keep on.
I just felt like if Jimmy could get a solid guy next to him, a Beal type, somebody like that, that makes them so dangerous. Because now you look at the East. I mean, in a couple years, I really think the Pistons are going to be.
Oh yeah, the Pistons are going to be there. Like they're probably going to be a playing team next season. Not next season. Yes. Yeah, not this upcoming season, but the next season.
They have a lineup like that's 6'8" and 6'6" and over.
And not to mention, Dwayne Casey's a really good coach.
Great head coach. He's the perfect head coach for a young team. Coach of the year. He's coached in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're going to be dangerous. The East is getting better every single year. So now, especially with the Donovan Mitchell move as well, it just enhances that. So I think Miami, they need to get another star in there if they really want to compete and go back to the finals.
And I'm not being a homer here, but they must think that Tyler Hero can be that guy. He just is developing on.
To me, Hero was good at his role now, and that's being a 6-man off the bench. I don't think he can really be your true number 1 option if you're trying to win a championship.
I just feel like if he was that guy, they'd be looking for another 6-man because he'd be a starter. Book it, hands down. There'd be no question. He's our starter. Then we could find Gabe Vincent or Max Strus, so somebody else could go fill that role as 6-man. He should be a starter by now. If they really felt like he was going to be that guy. So, defensively, he's not great.
He's terrible.
Yeah. I was being nice.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're honest. But yeah, he's not that good, and I just feel like they need that other guy, that guy that could get you 25 any given night next to Jimmy. Bam and get you to 18 and do everything else, and then the role players and then the scheme from Spoelstra, they'll be fine. So we'll see what Pat Riley does.
Absolutely, we could talk more about Miami and that division, but we'll hold off on that. We've dove into Zeke eating, but let's go ahead and get into the Atlantic, or it is the Atlantic, right? The
Atlantic, yep.
Yes. Let's just go ahead. We'll start with you, CJ. Let's just go ahead and start with the Knicks. What do you think on them?
Oh, actually, I got the banners.
Okay, I got you. I see what you're doing. Okay.
We got the banners here. Let's start with the team that won the East last year, the Boston Celtics, second in the Eastern Conference, record-wise. Had a crazy. They had a pretty good run. They had a pretty good run. They swept Brooklyn. Then they went up against Milwaukee.
They might have had one of the hardest runs in the East, honestly, when you think about who they went through.
Yeah, it was up there. And if they were able to, cap it off with, beating Golden State, that would have been a special run for sure. They go up against Milwaukee. Giannis minus Middleton. We're able to get through that one in 7. Then Jimmy Butler hobbled a little bit. Still had a crazy game where he dropped 47, 40 in the first game. They struggled in that series, but they were able to battle through. Marcus Smart had a crazy game, I think, in Miami in one of those series, and then you go up against obviously the Golden State Warriors and they lose in 6. So I think a phenomenal season. They pick up Malcolm Brogdon in the offseason. Danilo Gallinari gets hurt with the ACL playing for his home team in Italy, unfortunately. So I think they could add somebody else from that wing position. There have been discussions of potentially bringing in Carmelo Anthony as a stretch 4 off the bench to kind of replace that role that Gallinari potentially was going to have for the team. So I think they're looking for some other options. I think Brogdon was a big pickup when healthy. He's a really good secondary ball handler, really good playmaker, former 50, 40, 90 guy in Milwaukee. So I think he could be a really good piece for them. I'll start with Nick and I'll go with Michael, man. What's your thoughts on the Celtics going forward? Do you still think they're going to be? Do you still think they're? Do you still think they're a supreme threat in the East in terms of there isn't going to be anybody that's going to be able to stop them, regardless whether it's Milwaukee, Miami, some of these other teams?
I'm not going to say that like nobody's going to stop them, but I will say that Boston is up there as far as one of the more superior teams in the East. And I think just last year, that experience of even getting to the finals, I know they lost, but just getting there and having that experience of playing at that type of atmosphere, I feel like they're going to be able to elevate this season and cap off of a great postseason runs. Getting a guy like you mentioned, Malcolm Brogdon, that's probably one of the more underrated pickups in my opinion of the offseason. Having that guy who can really take that pressure off of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, being that playmaker guy who can also score at a high level. You mentioned it, CJ. He averaged 50, 40, 90 before. He had some really good seasons with Indiana. I know people may have overlooked it because they had guys like Sabonis and Miles Turner and those guys, but he had some really good seasons in Indiana and Milwaukee a few years back. So Brogdon has proven that he can be an elite starting point guard for the NBA. So just for him being on the Celtic team is definitely going to be big. Unfortunately, Gallinari was signed to the team, but then he ended up tearing his MCL, I believe, overseas. So that definitely sucks. But Boston's going to be up there, in my opinion. Ime Udoka has proved last year that he's one of the more elite coaches, and he's just going to continue that, in my opinion. So I'm not going to say that they're just like over everyone else, like Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and everyone else, but Boston's going to be one of the more superior teams in the East this year.
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of piggyback on everything y'all said, so I don't want to just keep repeating everything. They made some good off-season moves. I hate that Galley went down. I thought it was a great pickup. Then he goes down, so I hate it for that. Like to see what they do. I haven't heard about Melo on that, so that I think would be decent for them. Struggle a little bit on as far as defense. Don't know how well that would help, but having a leadership like that would be great. What I do have them out of their how many games they play? 82?
82, yes.
Mm-hmm. 82 games.
Yeah.
Out of 82 games, I've got them at 55. So I actually think they're going to move up in the records as far as what they did last year. I just didn't even pay attention. You got it right there, 51 and 31, which is crazy that I think on January 6th of last year, after losing to your Knicks, they lost only like 10 games from that day for the rest of the season, not the playoffs, but the season. I think they went on like a 30-10 record. I'm just going to kind of ram that up there.
Not to cut you off, Michael, but that's a good point that you make, because around that time, there was a lot of talk saying that Tatum and Brown couldn't coexist on the floor. Mm-hmm. Like they were saying that, one of the guys needed to be moved. Obviously, it wasn't going to be Tatum. So
right.
For them to, like, after that Knicks game, to kind of figure it out and show them, like, hey, we can play with one another. Like, that really showed, like, how good Boston can really be.
Absolutely. But the only thing that I do worry about is during this offseason where they have talked about we're going to trade Brown for KD or all these movements that they're kind of doing. Like, how is that going to work on him mentally? Like, I'm the weaker brother or I'm the lower one, is that going to be any kind of mental damage that they've done that they got to recover on that? And I don't know, come back to him and said, man, sorry, it's just business. Not that we don't want you, but, that's just the offers that were going around and in the discussions. We love you. We want to move forward with you. We cut that off. I don't care what the media said. It was discussed, but you are a guy. We're going forward with you and Tatum. This is our team. I don't know. But I've got them at 55 wins. I do want to say that. Every team, I don't know if y'all want to say anything like that, but I've actually put a win what I think they're going to be all these teams at.
I'll say around that, I'll say around like 52 to 55 wins or so.
Okay.
Because you got to think though, like they practically have their same team from last year back. You got guys like Robert Williams. You still got Al Horford, Grant Williams, and the rest of those guys. So they still have the majority of their role players. What was that?
We don't talk about Grant.
But Boston just pretty much added, honestly. Getting Brogdon is a really good piece. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely excited to see what they can do this year and try to capitalize off of making it to the finals last year.
I'm a fan of Boston. I think when you have two versatile wings like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think you're always going to be set up for success. Both of those guys could easily be, top 10 players. I feel like they have that potential. Tatum is obviously right there, and I think Brown, if he were in a different situation, and he was the number one guy, I think more people would have those type of discussions about him as well. But I think together, you're right. There were definitely those questions on whether or not they would be able to succeed early on. They struggled. And then like Michael talked about after that game against the Knicks when RJ Barrett hit the game winner, they kind of, recollected themselves, got back to the drawing board, realized that they needed to play defense. And that's exactly what they did. And they went on a crazy tear and had a really good run to the NBA Finals. Their offseason, it was good. It was good. I think, again, Brogdon was a really good pickup. They needed some secondary. They needed a playmaker, a true playmaker. Marcus Smart still kind of transitioning to that role, being a playmaking type point guard. He's really good defensively, and he was nicked up with some injuries in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that trickled over to the NBA Finals as well. So I think him coming back healthy is going to be major for him, and also him just continuing to learn and develop in this new role that he really didn't have when Brad Stevens was the head coach. So I think this is going to be a really good situation for Marcus Smart. He can learn from a guy like Brogdon. I think their closing lineup is going to be Brogdon, Smart, Brown, Tatum.
How did I forget about Smart?
Yeah, Brown, Tatum, and I mean, it's really just depends on who's the big that they're going up against. If it's a traditional rim running type big, I mean, you could go Robert Williams. But if it's a guy that can space the floor and pop and roll a little bit and you need versatility, you could go Al Horford. So I think they're in a good spot there when it comes to their closing five. You could put that closing five up there with anybody. And I think adding Brogdon, it gives you that sense of an extra playmaker. It takes the ball out of Tatum and Brown's hands all the time, so they're not turning the ball over. I do think they do need to improve their playmaking because teams they definitely looked at the finals and saw how Golden State played against them, forcing them left, turning the ball over, making bad mistakes. They're going to have to work on that if they want to succeed and ultimately hoist that Larry O.B. So I think they could add another piece to that bench. Grant Williams is good. He developed. He was able to work on him spacing the floor. I know you don't want to. I know you want to hear that, but he's turned out to be a pretty good player. He's 23 years old. They could be a solid rotational piece for them. I do think they need that wing, and they need another wing piece on the outside that could shoot, play a little bit of defense. I think that's going to be best for Boston going forward. But yeah, I could definitely see 48 plus wins. It's tough to put a number because the Cavs got better, the Hawks got better. I think the Raptors are going to be better now that they realize that.
You think those teams will be better than Boston?
No, not better than Boston, but those aren't games where you're like, oh, Boston's going to automatically. Yeah, that's what I mean. Those aren't automatic W's. So the season it's gonna be different, and I just feel like it's tough to put a win number, but I think they will be definitely in the high 40s, possibly 50s for sure. It's very possible that they continue to keep the main thing, which is their defense. That's what got them to the finals. I think they'll do wonders. So, really good team, young team with a lot of experience, something that we haven't seen in a while. Those two guys being in the finals now, having that finals experience now, on top of the Eastern Conference finals experience that they've already had over the last 6 years, 5 years, respectively. So I'm excited to see what they do going forward. Ime Udoka could have easily been Coach of the Year. So I think they're going to continue to be a great team, and I think they're dangerous, and you can't sleep on them at all. And I think the East is really just comes down to who's the hottest in April, because April, May, and June, because I just feel like it's so much parity now, especially at the top. Anybody could hoist that. Anybody could be in the finals in that conference.
All right, who we going on with the next?
Yes, sir. Next, we got the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, sir. We go with Brooklyn Nets. Yes, a team that was really the star of the offseason in the NBA this year.
Keeping up with the Nets.
Yes, keeping up with the Nets. June 30th, KD asked for a trade. Kyrie, the opt-in, opt-out dilemma. Was he going to opt in? Was he going to opt out? Does he want to take the $37.6 million? Ultimately opted in, and then KD asked for a trade. And then we had the scenario with, like you guys just talked about, the Celtics fielding offers for KD. Suns, Miami. There was talks about New Orleans. New Orleans was being asked for BI, so everybody was trying to field offers for KD, but Josiah held it down, was like, you know what? We got this guy for 4 years left on his deal. We're going to keep this guy. We're going to try to make it work. They brought in Royce O'Neal, a solid 3-and-D wing who has a lot of playoff experience coming from Utah. TJ Warren was a bubble MVP candidate 2 years ago, the way he was playing when he was on the Pacers. Remember his beef with Jimmy Butler. Definitely remember that one. Ben Simmons.
He's not in my league.
He's not in my league, exactly. Ben Simmons is the unicorn, the X factor. Yeah, I mean that's the guy right there. I look at their starting lineup. I mean, there's potential closing lineup. It could be Kyrie, Warren, O'Neal, KD, and Ben. If you want to do that, I mean, you got spacing, you got versatility defensively. That's much better than having Dragic and Patty Mills at shooting guard and small forward last year against the Celtics. I think that lineup right there would match up extremely well against Boston, would match up extremely well against Milwaukee as well. People don't think Ben could play center. I think in today's NBA, at his size,
he definitely can.
Yeah, his size, his versatility, it's perfect for him because he can't shoot, so he can do everything else. Just has to knock down his free throws, so they won't foul him at the end of the game. I think that lineup is absolutely perfect for Brooklyn. For me, it's going to come down to Steve Nash. If they're not able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, at least he's out of there. He's out of there for sure. He has to be gone. I'm not a fan of his offensive style. We've talked about this plenty of times on the show. Maybe he's gotten the lab and changed some things up. Now that the roster is much better, maybe he felt like he had to go more ISO because KD and Kyrie, because they didn't have a lot of versatility on defense to get stops. So they needed those guys to step up and, just go off one-on-one. I think now with the versatility that they have, I could see them really being a contender, a true contender now in the Eastern Conference. We've been talking about them being a contender for a while when they had Harden and things like that, and they haven't been able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals yet. So
wow,
exactly. So I think Kyrie's the important. I mean, Kyrie's they have two X factors. It's Kyrie and what's on his mind. He was streaming on Twitch yesterday. I was watching him playing some 2K. So he looks like, listening to him and watching the stream, looks like he's in a good space, good headspace. Look like he's ready to go for the season. And again, yeah.
We still got 6 weeks though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, anything can happen. He's a wild card.
You got no confidence in him, bro.
I mean,
he's a wild card, no question about it. And then Ben Simmons also a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get from him either. But if they put egos aside for those three guys, and they want to play together and try to do something special, I think they could do it. I really think they can. They would eliminate a lot of narratives that were placed on them. Of course, some self-inflicted last year.
Absolutely.
Easily. They go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They go to the finals. It eliminates everything. Because everybody thinks these three guys, it can't work. It won't work. So if they're able to silence the noise, I think they're going to be in a great spot, and I think they have the talent to do so. Michael, what's your thoughts on Brooklyn, man?
My thoughts on Brooklyn is I'm almost tired of them. The season's not even started, and I'm really like I said, keeping up with the Nets, and almost I don't know if y'all picked up on it as far as keeping up with the Kardashians. Like that's almost what I feel like they're compared to now. Like there's been so much drama in this offseason. Like I've been tired of talking about the Nets, but the Nets are going to be good. I think. Like we've already talked about the combo, the trio that they're going to have if Ben Simmons actually plays. Like if his back is fine, if he's mentally okay. Is Kyrie now? He's okay to play, I guess, in most of the games now. So we should have him more than we had him last year. I don't know as far as going up to Canada for games up there in Toronto, whatever may go on there, because I know in baseball there's still some players can't play crossing the border with now. So Kyrie can't play in Toronto if he doesn't get the vaccine. He didn't get the vaccine, right? He never did, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So that's still that whatever lingers. But the COVID thing is almost a complete pass now. But if these guys can just play basketball and put their phones away and put all social media away and just play basketball, this team could be very dangerous. I mean, they have a good lineup. Like, to me, if Ben Simmons actually played like a Ben Simmons wants to play, with these two guys on your wings that you just create and kick to and let them finish it out, it's perfect for him. Play defense, lock up, get rebounds, and get assists. You're going to get putbacks for your 10 points. Like, you don't even really have to score.
6'10" Draymond. That's what I said, man.
That's for real. Like, that's really all he has to play like. He's going to be the point guard. He's going to be James Harden, how we had him. And they were talking about him MVP as far as running the point guard, kicking to these two guys. Do the exact same thing. Come down on defense. Now you're guarding the big guy. Take it easy. Guard the rim. Guard the paint. So if he can just stay mental, capable, I think – now here's my thing. I'm actually going to put them around the 50-win mark because we're going to get Kyrie at more games. But I also think they're going to do some resting. They're not going to worry too much about what position they get as far as number one or what. So I'm going to have them around the 50 mark, and I'll actually have Boston winning more games just because I don't think they care as far as becoming number one in the Eastern Conference. They're just going to rest quite a bit. What I call it, a minute management or whatever.
Load management.
Yeah, load management. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a situation going on with that as far as their wins. So I have them there, and that's really what I think. I think 50 wins is going to be – now, is that their cap? Absolutely not. But I do think load management is going to come in with that. Yeah, that's all I'll say on there.
Okay.
So this should be like a dream come true for a guy like Ben Simmons. You know, absolutely. Coming into the team. Well, let's go back to when he was in Philly. So obviously Embiid is the top guy, clearly number one option. But who was the second guy behind him? Ben Simmons. So a lot of the reason why he got a lot of criticism because of that Game 7 was because he was supposed to step up as a second option. Mm-hmm. Now you're going into Brooklyn where you don't necessarily have to be that top two scoring option. You have Kevin Durant and you have Kyrie Irving. So Ben Simmons' main priority with his team is got to be playmaking and then, of course, being the anchor on defense because we all know Ben Simmons is super versatile on defense, being able to guard all five positions, being able to guard on the switch. Being able to defend the pick and roll and everything. So Ben, I'm not going to say he has an easy job, but he's going to be able to do the things that he's comfortable doing in Brooklyn that has nothing to do with scoring. So that's why I like it for him. Hopefully he starts to I think I read something where he did say that he would be ready. So hopefully he will be ready and he'll be healthy by the season start. But as for Brooklyn, they're going to be a good team. I definitely agree with Michael. I'll say they'll be in the 50-win mark. I don't know if they'll be like top 4, but I know that they'll. I'll probably pick them. I'll probably pick them to be at least top 5. I'll probably pick them for that 5th seed overall. I still think that they have like some holes in their roster, in my opinion, that may prevent them from really elevating like against teams like Milwaukee or Boston or whoever. But Brooklyn's still going to be in that conversation, just because of the names that they got, KD and Kyrie.
All right. Yeah. Again, they have some exciting players. They have some interesting personalities, to say the least. So we'll see what happens with that. I want
to ask a quick question before you go to the next team. Out of those 3, who do you think would be AKA MVP candidate? Oh, did he catch
KD? Probably KD.
Yeah. I think KD, yeah. I think he has a lot to prove. Also, he had I don't want to say terrible series, but he struggled. He struggled a lot.
For him, his caliber.
He had a pretty bad series against Boston.
Yeah, and for his standard, he definitely struggled. He was kind of seeing ghosts out there. They flash double, and he just, think it was somebody's open, and he turned the ball over. So he had a rough first series there. Then the Mike James comment comes out and says he didn't feel like they were going to win the first round anyway, which ultimately happened. They got swept, which I don't like. I think for KD this year, from a basketball standpoint, got to be a vocal leader. Now he's always been a guy where in Golden State, when he was with Knicks squad.
That's always been his issue.
They didn't need him to be a vocal leader. Steph could do it. Draymond could do it. Clay, I think, is a really underrated vocal guy. I think he talks a lot in that locker room, and those guys really hear what he has to say.
Even guys like Iguodala too.
Iguodala, 100%. So I think in Brooklyn, That's your squad now. You have to even in Oklahoma City, I don't feel like he was really a vocal guy. I think Westbrook was the vocal guy. He brought the energy to the point where we saw when he left, he didn't even tell Westbrook he was leaving. He shot him a text. That's really a man's. You don't do that. So you talk to them face to face. So that just goes to show, he's kind of a reserved type guy outside of, I feel like Twitter aside, I know he's on Twitter going crazy, and the Twitter is like a world where you could be someone that you're not. And I feel like that's really what KD is. I think when he's like him, if he's like, if we were cool with him, he'd probably be more like chill, relaxed. He doesn't really say too much. And I feel like that's how he is when it comes to basketball. Twitter, yeah, you feel like, Twitter, you could be anybody you want. I mean, as long as the likes hit, that's it. Like, so, but yeah, from a basketball standpoint, he has to be a vocal guy, he has to be a vocal leader. Of course, I feel like those guys will be able to listen to him. He's one of the greatest players to ever play. And I think that has to be that transition for him, because Ben needs a guy in his ear telling him, yo, I need you to lock in tonight.
See,
yeah.
That's where I'm going to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're good.
I want to say I'm completely different on you on this, though, because I almost think that the way he comes off on Twitter might be who he is. That hateful, the negative demeanor, just like.
Is it hateful?
I just think it's a wall, bro. You don't think it's a wall?
Well, see, I mean, I hope it is, but I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. I just feel like that would be a hard person to be led by, that always being a negative Nancy, if you will, or always doom and gloom kind of person. Like, that's what I always feel like from his tweets and stuff. Like, you come at him, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, if I were to be playing for him and to make a mistake and he just, like, I don't know, scald me for the dumbest things when, like, he does it himself, I'm like, you know what? Why should I bust my tail for you if you're on that? Like, there's different ways to lead, and sometimes the negativity leading doesn't work for these players. And Ben Simmons, I don't think, would be one of those guys. Like, if you jump all over him and down him, he's already telling us that if there's some, like, I won't say mental problems, but mental issues that he lingers with that, like, maybe he can't deal with that stuff, And
I think
Westbrook,
yeah.
I was just gonna say Westbrook, I think, totally can handle it and would bite back, which is why I think Westbrook took over that team as the leader. I don't know. I think Durant is more bark than anything.
More bark. I don't know why that's so funny.
I feel like a leader should know the people that you're around. So you have to talk to them in different type of ways. Maybe for Ben, it's not, yelling at Ben and he's saying, yo, you suck, you can't shoot, stuff like that. It's maybe like,
but does Durant know how to lead? That's the question.
And this is what I'm saying.
Kevin Durant has, I think he has the personnel. Yeah, I think he has the personnel to be a leader, but the thing about it is that, like, his whole mentality is, I just want to go out there and hoop. And, like, he's admitted that on many occasions. So with him being like mid-30s,
more than that to win a championship. You need more than that, bro. And he should know that more than anything, because he has two. He has two. You should know that more than anybody. It's more than just getting buckets. And I'm saying for Ben, you got to be like, yo, Ben, I just need you to lock in tonight, man. Yo, get rebounds, get stops. Run the transition, run the floor. I'm gonna feed you. I got you, bro. You just lock in real fast. We're gonna go to the promised land. We're gonna get the W tonight.
I'll carry you.
You can't be like, yo, Ben, what's up, bro? You didn't make that rotation. You suck. Like, you can't do that. Like, because maybe his reaction reaction could be different, and now he could be set aside. Like, oh, where he's talking to me crazy. Was good. So Kyrie, probably the same thing. I mean, Kyrie's, again, interesting personalities. That's what I call these guys. So I think he has to make that next step. He has to. He's the best player on the team. You're not going to win a championship.
So do you guys think that Brooklyn, like, do y'all think that Brooklyn should probably go out and get like a key veteran so that somebody can be that vocal leader on the bench, like kind of like a guy like UD is for Miami, like just sitting on the bench, but but he's a real vocal leader on the sideline.
See, finally, you're acting like he's a leader and a veteran to this team.
I never said he wasn't. He still needs to retire. Don't get me wrong, but
you're just basically saying that Brooklyn needs him. I just heard that.
I didn't say they needed him.
That's the way I translated that.
I think they could use a guy like that. I think they could definitely use a guy like that. You look at that Cavs team in 2016. They had guys like Dante Jones, Richard Jefferson. just guys that they're not going to play, but they bring other aspects to the team that really helps the overall guys. Somebody that could be a guy, maybe a couple guys talk to. They may not be, one guy may not be cool with the other guy, but you have this guy, that veteran guy that could kind of meet both guys in the middle, and you could be able to have those conversations and be cool and make it work for the betterment of the team.
They need that player that's not so good that will do everything that they can to make that team better.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's what they need. I don't know if they have that right now. Looking at their roster, I'm trying to go through maybe Patty Mills. That's about it to me from what I see. That one of those veteran guys, but again, you got to have respect from all 15, the other 14, 15 guys on the squad. So,
and that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, Patty Mills is a champion. I don't think Dragic is. So it's like, but Patty Mills has never been known as like that vocal leader type guy, at least from the past. Him being in San Antonio and everything.
Yeah. So, Dragic is Chicago now, but yeah, right. But I know what you're saying. Right. Like that veteran presence. They need that. And I just don't think they have that on the roster right now. And when you're asking 3, again, interesting personalities to be those leaders of your team, it's a lot to ask. Granted, and also none of those guys, they don't even have a leader that's maybe in that starting lineup. I mean, TJ Warren just got there. Royce O'Neal. Could he be Royce O'Neal? Could be that guy? Maybe. I mean, he's.
I mean, man, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you need a coach that can go to KD and be like, hey, listen, you need to be that guy to go and pump them up some, but he's not even going to listen to Nash when he says that. Like, he wanted him fired.
Steve Nash not that dude. He's not that dude, man.
Steve Nash should have been, like, let's be real. Steve Nash should have been fired exactly right after that.
But he wasn't. When
your two best players before the season starts are saying we don't have a coach.
Right. I'm with you. I'm totally.
That's it right there. When your two best players are like, we don't need a coach. We don't have a coach. What? So from there, you already know what's it gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of yes men, yes. A lot of no, not lack of confrontation if things aren't going the way it needs to go. And I see that with Steve Nash. He looks like a nice guy, cool guy. Is he gonna be a guy that's gonna, criticize, critique KD? Yo, do what you need to do. Get these guys going. Like I think a Darvin Ham could potentially be for the Lakers. Like he could be that type of guy.
Imagine Darvin Ham with Brooklyn. Oh my god.
They need a no nonsense guy in there.
But they should go for Rasheed Wallace.
It would be nice, but I don't think he could be head coach. Like,
yeah, I don't know if he could be.
You never know.
I don't know. Right? I
mean,
away.
not like boom. Yeah, like
I mean, Nash was a coach right away.
Yeah,
and I mean, at least Sheed was a coach at Memphis, playing under Penny or coaching under Penny. Yeah, so I mean, he definitely does have it on his resume. But
you're true. That's true. And I think coaching also in basketball is so underrated to me. I think it's more glorified in football, it's college football. It's glorified in college basketball. But I feel like in the NBA, it's like, oh, if you got two great guys, doesn't matter who the coach is, they're gonna win. That's what everybody. That's like
that's true.
The casual narrative, I should say. That's the casual narrative. Oh, they got LeBron and AD, so Frank Vogel, it doesn't matter. They're gonna win the chip. But I mean, yeah, they won.
Coaching matters.
Yeah, coaching matters because you're dealing with egos. You have to be a therapist. That's really your job as a therapist. Like a therapist that calls plays.
They even did that in Cleveland, honestly. Like, they were talking about, they got LeBron, but a lot of people they don't realize how good of a coach Tyronn Lue really is.
They sleep on that. Yo, bro, you don't come back down 3-1 against a 73-9 team and not have an elite coach. I'm sorry. You just don't. It just doesn't happen. LeBron's been in the finals with Mike Brown, David Blatt, else. So,
David Blatt.
Ty Lue is that dude. He's that dude. And I think if Steve Nash isn't able to get those guys to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, it's curtains.
All right, so let's move on to the next team.
Yes, sir. Let's transition to the next team. Another team with a lot of questions going forward next season. A lot of storylines surrounding this squad. The Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden got him to an extension, takes a pay cut, brings in his guy, PJ Tucker. Takes a weight cut as well. Looks 100%, dealing with the hamstring injury over the last 2 years. looks to be ready to go. But looking at the workout videos, some of those photos were photoshopped and people trying to, put some disrespect on his name. But I saw the actual photos. He looks in really good shape. It looks like he's ready to lock in and try to win a championship. Because again,
So
I think
CJ just said that Harden looked good. Okay, got it.
In terms of like in basketball shape.
So my booker is your James Harden. Okay, it's cool.
I don't think we could compare it because you kind of take it.
On,
what I mean? You kind of take it to another level.
Okay,
But
so
no,
I inflated it.
He ain't call Harden handsome or anything.
Yeah, I didn't see. Yeah, right, exactly. I didn't take it there. You feel me? But yeah, I think Harden is. I'm a fan of Harden. Been a fan of Harden for over a decade, and this is a key moment for Harden right here because he could go down as this generation's Barkley. Him and Westbrook easily could go down as this generation's Charles Barkley. Great player, went to the finals, put up a bunch of numbers, MVP, no championship. So now he's playing with one of the greatest bigs we've seen in a long time with the versatility that Embiid can play at. There's no excuses. You're a number 2 guy now. You've been a number 1 in Houston for 9 years. Now, as you're getting older, you could transition to that number 2 option. You got a guy like Embiid. Like I said, they brought in PJ Tucker. Another guy that they brought in that was a sleeper pickup was DeAnthony Melton from Memphis. He's a really good floor spacer. I think he's going to excel in that system when they play a little bit of 5 out. If they sag off, he could knock down some shots. He's athletic. He could go to the basket as well. I really like his game. They pretty much got him for Danny Green, who's going to be out for the majority of the season with the ACL. So that's a big-time trade, a big-time move by Daryl Morey that he picked up in the offseason. That's a sleeper for me. They got Montrezl Harrell. They just picked up Montrezl Harrell this week. A guy that could come in and give you 20, 22 minutes a little bit. He could probably play with Embiid at certain moments because Embiid can space the floor. So I like that lineup, man. I really do. And I like the guys that Daryl Morey picked up in the offseason to put around Harden and Embiid. And again, we talk about X factors. I think we know the X factor to me is Tyrese Maxey for Philadelphia. I think he could, continue to take that next step. He'll be 22 this year, going into his role.
22.
22, yeah, 22 exactly. So I'll start with Nick, man. What's your thoughts on the 76ers? How do you think their offseason went about, and what are your thoughts on how they're going to play this season?
So I know that practically since the playoffs, Philly's been more like the laughing stock. Obviously, we know with Harden being overweight and him dealing with the hamstring injury and everything, but I think Philly's going to be really good. And then, I forgot as well, they still have Doc Rivers. So, but yes. Honestly, I think Philly's going to be a really good team this year. So for me, when it comes to Harden, is like, it's kind of the same thing like with Ben Simmons is that, because I feel like Maxey is going to be that second option behind Joel Embiid offensively. So that's going to take a lot of pressure off of Harden to really focus on the playmaking side of things. So that's why, I predict like if Harden can give you at least like 19 to 21 a game along with like 8 to 10 assists, like that's a pretty good season for him at this stage of his career. Like people don't need James Harden to average around 25 plus a game. Like I don't think that he can ever be that guy again. So as long as he's able to produce as far as like, being that playmaker, being able to spread the floor and being able to really dictate the offense, I feel like that's going to be big for them. And then on top of that, like you mentioned, PJ Tucker's a really good pickup, bringing that enforcer who can really do damage, getting a guy like Anthony Melton as well. So Philly's got a nice squad. And then, of course, you still got guys like Tobias Harris. Whenever he's being consistent, he could be a great option. Matisse Thybulle is a great defensive matchup. So Philly's got a really solid team. I know that they've been a laughing stock because of, how things have turned out for them. Because, obviously with a guy like Kendrick Perkins giving them like that name of Harden and Embiid being like the best duo since Shaq and Kobe. It's just absolutely insane. But besides that, I think Philly's going to have a good year.
I want to make jokes, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be serious, I guess, with this Philly team. I mean, we know we got the Doc Rivers who, like, does great for the season, then playoffs, and it's like, whatever. But the Sixers, I mean, they're a legitimate team. You've got a year in, year out MVP candidate in Joel Embiid as long as he does not get hurt. The man is next level, 7 foot, whatever, can play 18 feet out and back to the goal, facing the goal. He can do whatever he wants to, basically. Excuse me. With Harden now being completely healthy, they're saying lost some weight, so the hamstring's not having nearly as much strain or weight on them. They're acting like he's not having as much problem with those, so hopefully we can see a better Harden here. I do like what you guys are saying with Maxey being the second option. I really think James is going to be the first or the second option off of Joel Embiid, but I can see both working on that because really almost Brooklyn-esque James Harden, where it's, hey, you facilitate, kick, and let these guys create off of what you have already created. I'm fine with that. I'd like to see some pick and rolls a lot more with Joel Embiid and James Harden with quickly coming from the weak side as they go around. If his guy helps down to double team on the big man, so you take away that guy, plus James Harden can't create, you swing it over to the weak side where it quickly should be wide open for a 3, or at least in an ISO situation where everyone basically just cleared out, where he could go one-on-one with anyone. I would like some type of play going on with that quite a bit. I think it would be nice. I think it'd be a great option. I've got them going around my predicament. I'm going to say that they're going to be around 53 wins this year. I'm going to give them a couple more wins, I guess. So right now I have Boston 1, Sixers 2, Nets 3 in as far as how I think they'll finish record-wise.
Not bad.
You know what? Y'all kill me with these. Not bad. I'm not mad. Okay. Like, you know.
What's wrong with it? I mean, like.
It's like you almost sound okay, but it's a little iffy what you.
We're not disagreeing with you.
No, we're not disagreeing. We agree.
I know, but it's not a full like, wow, Michael, that's great info. Like, I mean, I'm not mad. See, I don't need a KD. I need someone to be like, hey, man, awesome job, Michael. That's great info. That's dropping facts, man.
Who do you want me to be? Do you want me to be UD?
Yeah,
UD?
no. I want you to be
throwing chairs and whatnot.
I want you to be like
on the sideline. Want to be like Nash, just hugging KD after dropping 40.
You don't want me to be Nash.
Minutes.
Pat me on the back, man. I need the uplifting. Are we really already punting? Golly, we suck.
And again, for me, last thing before we go to the Raptors, it's Joel Embiid has never been to an Eastern Conference Finals in his career. It's been knocked out.
Which is crazy.
Crazy, right? So this is why I feel like the East is really going to be must-see TV, because there's so many storylines and situations that somebody's going to be disappointed. One of these trio and combination of superstars are going to be sad, when it's all said and done next year. So that's the intrigue and the suspense, obviously, as we're previewing these teams. And, I really want to see Embiid in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the finals. He's 27, so you would assume he has more time. But I just think right now it's a great situation because of what they have around him. And they need to capitalize on that fast.
Okay, real quick question before we move on, because, you saying that one team is going to be upset, and that's just this Atlantic Conference. Like, we're not even talking about if Miami were to make a big jump or anything like that, or some team come out of nowhere. Let's just say Boston doesn't make it. Is that team broken up at the end of the year, or you think they run it back? They're okay if they finish outside the Eastern Conference? Just quick answers on this. We won't keep.
What do you mean, like outside the East, like not make the playoffs?
Okay, we'll say Brooklyn and 76ers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So Boston doesn't. They lose that round before.
Boston would be fine. I mean, you got to think. I mean, they just made the finals last year, so if they were to get bounced like the second round, I don't think that they'll necessarily split this team up. I mean, they will make some adjustments as far as the roster changes, but I mean, besides that, I mean, the core guys are going to be there. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum,
Al
Marcus
Horford
Smart.
probably be gone. Let's get younger at that position.
Probably so.
Probably. Yeah, I'm right there. They probably have to, again, make some more roster moves. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of always breaking the team up, bro. I'm just not.
I don't think Boston's either. That's kind of why I started with them. Brooklyn, they don't make it to Eastern Conference. Now, you already said you think Nash would be gone. But what about KD, Kyrie, Ben?
Kyrie could be gone. Kyrie could be traded.
I mean, I'm
It's
not
possible.
mad at
He'll be an unrestricted free agent next year, so very possible.
Oh, okay, he's gonna be free agent. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think Nash automatically is gonna have to go if they're healthy. With everybody I named when we previewed them, and now that they're able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, Nash definitely has to get up out of there, and then have to bring somebody else in there, and then probably give it maybe one more year. But ultimately, this is going to come down to how this team, the chemistry, bro. Like I said, we really underrate chemistry when we're talking about these games.
Absolutely.
Like, we think it's like we think it's just like 2K. Like you put player X and great player B to on a team, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is going to work, and it doesn't always work out like that. So,
but
again,
what if we got
those personalities are so crazy?
76ers don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. What happened?
Doc Rivers is gone. He's like Doc Rivers cannot stay another year if they don't make it to the conference finals next year.
Yeah, Doc Rivers is out of there, and my fear is that they go with Mike D'Antoni, and
that style of play is not going to work with a guy like Embiid.
It's not going to work with a 35-year-old Harden.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
so it's like
you can't have that running gun offense.
Hey, 35 is not that old. Easy.
Yeah, but the miles that Harden's been in Houston, he was, remember Harden, he barely missed any games in Houston. He was averaging like 79, 80, 81 games a season. So he was out there.
Have y'all seen where Golden State talked about Kerr, his game plan was just let Harden get whatever he wanted. By the fourth quarter, he'd be done anyways.
That's it, bro.
I never saw that, but I mean, it's true,
yeah, bro. That's how you stop these guys. He's not a machine. He's human. Tire him out, fourth quarter. Those legs are gonna get tired, man. You can't be doing all them step back threes in the fourth quarter, and you got to go play defense. Nah,
and even those step back threes, like that's a lot of legs. Because I mean, he's probably jumping 6 feet away, trying to get that space, and then jumping.
All in travels, too. No, I was kidding.
It's legit. It's travels.
The one thing I saw, I think, shout out Unwrapped Sports. I think the 76ers is going to be a solid this season.
Sorry.
I don't think he'll go back to his. I don't think he'll go back to his old ways, but he's going to have a good season. Like it's not going to be the Harden from like his 2018 MVP year.
He's not shooting 20 free throws. We know that now.
He needs to change his game. He needs to start working in the post a little bit more. He needs to start taking some mid-range shots. I did see him do a workout with Maxey and Sam Cassell a few months ago. They were doing that drill where they were working on pull-up mid-ranges. He needs to get back to that. I mean, he did that a little bit when Kevin McHale was the head coach when he first got to Houston. And ever since Mike D'Antoni was like, no, threes and layups. So I think he needs to get back to the mid-range.
Right. And see, this is why, with all due respect to Harden, this is why I will never in life put him ahead of like guys like Kobe or D Wade, like on the all-time shooting guard list. Like, he's never really been like that skilled. James Harden's a special talent, don't get me wrong, but he's never been that skilled offensively. Like when you think about D Wade and Kobe, like they were great mid-range scorers. D Wade wasn't necessarily a great three-point shooter, but he was definitely more athletic. But Harden doesn't really have that type of skill set, and he never has, even when he was in OKC.
Well, I can't say that he don't have skill because he's in the NBA.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have skills, but like not like a certain skill set of like the past offensive players that we've seen in the past, like Kobe, MJ, and the list goes on and on and on. Even Steph Curry, in my opinion.
Well, I think he's two-dimensional, and I've said that actually for years with my friends around here, like watching. Like if he goes left, he's finishing at the layup. If he goes to his right, it's a step back three. Like it's just constantly.
Everybody knows it. You just can't stop it.
You just can't stop it. And I think because you can't stop it, he's not had to do anything else. I remember watching the school I used to work at. We had a boy that was in 7th grade that was 6 foot, and he was probably one of the most athletic boys that I'd seen in a long time playing in the game at that age. But he would catch the ball with his back to the goal and jump and then turn around midair and shoot it. I'm like, listen. You're 7th or 6th grade. He was 6 foot. I said, you're 6th grade. You're not being challenged. You can do that and make it. Obviously, that's fine. But that is not how this game works. And as you get up and people catch you in height, that's not going to pan out for you when you get to high school. I said, you've got to learn your footwork and actually do this. So when you are challenged, you can go to something. And there's no work ethics, but I mean, that's kids these days. So it stopped there. When he went to high school, he ended up quitting because he couldn't do anything.
Shout out to the kids, yo.
Yeah, and that's That's my thing with Harden, bro. He doesn't have a counter move, and again, that's why I feel like him and the Mike D'Antoni pairing. Yeah, you could on the surface you could look at it and say, man, they put up some crazy numbers together as a head coach top player duo. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, if the ultimate goal is winning the championship, that's what they failed at. And I just feel like again that style of system, it lacks a counterpunch. They just keep doing it the same thing over and over and over again. In the regular season, of course, you could do that, of course, because you're not going up against great teams every night. But when you go to the playoffs, you're seeing a great team every single night. And I agree. I see what Nick is saying. He doesn't have that, post move, spin around, pump, heavy. Right. He doesn't have that bag.
And the floater, the Nick Van Axel.
Yeah, he doesn't have those.
He has a floater. I'll give him that. He
has a floater. You got to have a floater. That's the layup part, the reason layups.
Right.
So, so if he could work on that part of his game as he gets older, he's going to be in the clear because that opens up.
Okay, I want to talk strategy with you guys here because this is something I've always wanted to see actually happen. You know how they kind of pick him up full court sometimes. So I would like to see a player pick him up full court, push him left full court, and when he crosses half court, almost have him to like the two. Well, I've always visualized two lines going all the way down the key. You know how you got where you line up the two lines there for rebounds off a free throw.
Right.
I always picture the court in three sections. Okay, you got your middle and your two sides. Off of that, all the way down. Have him on the left side of that third one, and see if he actually could create an offense from there. Because when he goes right, all it is a step back. But when he's in that third far left side, he can't really drive with his left hand because he's going straight down the baseline or the sideline. So I wonder if you were to funnel him over to that left side from the beginning, can he actually come back to that right and penetrate to the goal and score? Because he doesn't do that. Now, again, we're talking about an NBA player here, but I would just like to see that be a strategy a couple of times just for myself to see if that would actually work.
But you know how he offsets that? His handle.
Because he'll cross over and come back to it. Right.
That's the thing. Like Harden does have a really great handle, and that's something I'll give him.
The size up is too elite. So, absolutely. I mean, from there, as a defender, you're thinking, like, what is he going to do? And he already got you. If you're thinking about all that, then it's like blow by, and then, oh, man, the blow by. Oh, no, then step back.
Right.
Then the opposing teammate's going to come help, dime to the corner, dime to the hash. So it's like.
Right. Well, I'm talking back almost all the way back to free, like half court, like have him all the way back there.
Like press him full court.
Yeah, from full court, try to get him over there to where he has working from that far back out on there.
That could definitely be an option. I don't know why teams haven't done it. Probably also too fouls. The fouls too, where the referees in the regular season they blow that whistle crazy. So it's like he's gonna get to the free throw line, and then if they're the primary defender on Harden, you're like, damn, I already got two. It's the first quarter
for the tip off.
Right now, I got exactly. You're granted two automatically. Yeah. Now I got to play. Now I got to play back, and then you're playing right into his hands. So, All right, let's go into the Toronto Raptors. A really interesting team.
I like how I said it was going to be short on that. My bad, guys.
No, you're good, man. We're talking hoops, bro. Toronto. They went 48-34 last year. They had an interesting year. They struggled in the beginning of the season, then towards the second half, they kind of made things work. Scotty Barnes winning Rookie of the Year. I was actually watching him. He was also streaming on Twitch as well, playing with some 2K, playing 2K with fans, getting engaged with the fans cool. Too. That was cool to see. So I think they have a weird, not a weird team, but it's just an interesting team to where they need to establish, and I think at the start of the season, who's going to be the guy. Mm-hmm. And for me, I feel like it has to be Scotty Barnes. That's the most obvious answer, right? I think that's the most obvious answer is to go with Scotty Barnes as the number one guy. You picked him 4th overall in the draft last year.
So do you think he's ready for that role to like take over, like at least offensively? Because I mean, we know how versatile he is, but I don't know if he's really got the offensive bag yet to where he can be the number one option offensively. That's why for me, like it would have either had to been either Van Vliet or Pascal.
I see what you're saying, but I think Van Vliet and Pascal are 3rd and 4th options on championship team. If we're being honest,
okay.
I mean, I know Pascal had that good finals with Kawhi when Kawhi was there. So he can maybe be a 2, maybe. but to me, he's more of a 3. So yeah, I think you got to give him the keys already. Yeah, now early, so he could develop. And when he gets, he's 24, 25, it's all easy for him now. He's 20 years old, so it's like, so you give him the keys right now, and he'll develop, he'll learn. I think Siakam will have no problem playing off the ball. I think that would help his game. I don't think he's a guy that could be a number one, go get 25 to 28 points and then set everybody up. That's not really his game. So Scotty Barnes, with the versatility like you talked about, he should get the keys.
If not, you're going to end up with another RJ Barrett, right? Someone who's not developed yet because he's not had the keys completely given to him.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
I wouldn't ban him now. Okay.
Let's save it for the next team.
Yeah. All I was just saying is like we talked about this last episode when you weren't here, Nick. Is that RJ Barrett is
put the emphasis on weren't here.
Yeah, he's 23 years old, but yet we look at him like he's almost a has-been, or he's not going to develop, even though he's the same age or younger than Zion, came in the same year, and everyone's fine with Zion. But Zion had the team from the get-go when RJ has had my guy, Julius Randle, or just a Kentucky guy, my guy, in the way that's really stumped his growth because he played good one year. And that's just kind of Tom Thibodeau's way is, hey, you're good. I'm going to let you play and not ever sub you out. So it's almost caused RJ not to develop in prime time, or more of Obi Toppin more than anyone, who CJ said averaged 10 minutes you were saying last week, I think.
12 minutes before the end of the season, it went up to 17.
So, I mean, if you don't give him the keys now, why did you draft him number 4 overall? So, I mean, if anything, set up those plays, use them as often as you can, but still have your other guys ready to go whenever you need a bucket, I mean, go ahead and give it to him. Let him start driving. You start him young, man.
Exactly. Start it young, man. You need those versatile wings. It was a great pick by taking him over Jalen Suggs, because had the Magic took Scotty Barnes, they would have had Scotty Barnes and Banchero. GG's. So they made
Orlando probably would have never even picked Paolo if they got Scotty. I don't know.
They would have been crazy. They would have been crazy. I mean, I don't think the Magic would have been. If Scotty was there, they still wouldn't have been really good. They still wouldn't have been very good. The Magic they weren't a good team. But yeah, I would have took. I would have took him. That's perfect, bro. That's perfect. It's just like the Celtics in a way. 2 young, versatile wings.
Yeah,
I just got to make it work. But it didn't happen. And yeah, I think Barnes has to be that guy. And Van Vliet, he's a really good point guard. He's smaller, but he has really good defensive instincts at that position. Gary Trent Jr. able to space the floor, play defense. He's a solid piece as well in that starting lineup. I like his game. I just feel like they have to add some more players on the bench, some more depth on that side. And I think if they're able to do that, I think they could be really good. To me, they're kind of a tweener type East team. I mean, they had their window with DeMar and Kyle Lowry, where they were really good, but just couldn't get over the hump, aka LeBron. They kept losing LeBron in the East, and then that was it. Yeah, then they had the one hit wonder with Kawhi coming in there, bringing in the championship, and now it's like, what are we doing? What's gonna happen now? So
is Cooper Rush in?
Cooper Rush is in. That got hurt with a hand injury. It's tough.
Man.
Yeah. So I don't know what to really say about Toronto. I think they're going to be a play-in team. I think they're definitely a play-in team.
I agree.
I think there've been a bunch of teams in the Eastern Conference that have surpassed them over the last couple of years. Atlanta definitely, Cleveland, like we just talked about. And so they're going to need to be able to continue to draft well. Masai Ujiri is a top executive in the league. So they're going to have to continue to draft well and put some really good pieces around Scotty Barnes as the years progress. But yeah, I see them as a play-in type team that could, give a top team in the East in the first round a run for their money, but ultimately just not get over the hump because they're not as talented.
I ain't mad at that. I keep saying it. It's a habit, Michael. I'm sorry.
I ain't mad at it. It's fine. 100%. 100%.
But I mean, I think Toronto. I think Toronto is definitely going to be a good team. Sorry, real quick. But I mean, I still think that even though we see that Atlanta and Cleveland, like they're obviously more talented than Toronto, but I think I don't know. I just feel like maybe with like that experience that Toronto has, because I mean they definitely been to the finals before. Even though most of the roster is still shaking up, they still got the core guys like Van Vliet, OG, Chris Boucher. Yeah. So I mean, like they still have a lot of those core guys, and on top of that, we know how great of a coach Nick Nurse is. This guy's a genius. So it's tough, man. It's like I could definitely say playing, but if they were like to get that 5th, 6th seed again, I think they were the 6th seed last year, if I'm correct. If they were able to get that, then I wouldn't be surprised by that either.
Well, I put them at 47 wins. I think they're going to lose one more game than they did last year. It's just I feel like the East, and I'm not dogging that team or anything at Toronto. I just feel like a lot of Eastern teams have gotten better, and I'm not saying better than them. It's just I think every game is going to be fighting for victories. Obviously, that's the most dumbest statement I've ever made, I think. But I think just every game is going to be a true battle, really. And it's going to be very competitive, I think, from, really 1 through 8, I'm going to guess, kind of throwing out there. Like, that's how competitive the East is depth-wise. Now, will 1 and 8 could be interchangeable? No, but I'm just kind of spitballing. I think that's how competitive range it's going to be. But I'm going to put them at 46, and that still may have them close to that play-in. I don't think they're going to be out of the play-in game. I don't think that. We'll see as we go on. Once we get through all 6 the last week, I'd like for us to kind of go through the whole Eastern Conference, give a ranking, Eastern or Western, and give us all that. Oh.
Oh my God!
Yeah, tough.
Oh,
tough.
Such a heartbreak
for the Cowboy fans on the first.
He was open for like 10 yards, and that ball took like 20 minutes to get there. You got
tough life. So it's also tough being a Knicks fan. And this team obviously they struck out in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes this offseason. They weren't able to acquire him via trade, whether it's Danny Ainge, didn't like Leon Rose's, offer, or they just didn't want to send Donovan Mitchell to New York. Whatever the case may be, they were unsuccessful in acquiring Mitchell. They picked up They picked up Jalen Brunson. I wish they picked up Jalen Brunson in the offseason. I gotta had a stellar postseason. His series against the Jazz, and played pretty well against the Suns also, and route to that Western Conference Finals appearance alongside Luka Doncic, averaged 18 and 6 in the playoffs last year on some pretty good shooting splits. So he's definitely a factor. He's 25 years old. There were questions about the contract. Did he get overpaid? Should have been paid. We've talked about this a lot during the free agency and off-season episodes, and we just feel. I feel like he's. I feel like it's a good pickup. He's still young. He can still grow and develop. And I just think for this team, it comes down to 2 things. And if you've been watching the show, I've been saying the same things over and over again about this squad. And it's going to come down to Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau at the end of the day. It's what Julius Randle we're going to get this year. First season, we got mid Julius. Second season, we got all NBA Julius. And then last year, we got dirt Julius. So, are we going to get –
not even mid, he was dirt?
Nah, he was not good. He was not good, brother. He was not good, man. 40, 30, 75 shooting splits. Nah, as a number one option, it's not cutting it, brother. It's not. So it's a bad look. It's bad Julius. Look. For what are you sorry for? Are you sorry for him? Sorry for the Knicks fans.
Knicks fans are cruel, man. You know, it's a crazy.
Keeping it real, bro. I'm just keeping it real. 40, 30, 75.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
what?
You know, it's so funny though because like that year that y'all made the playoffs, like everyone loved Julius Randle. Like they loved him, they loved his son. But like as soon as he started playing bad, it's like
no, you're done.
We don't care about your son no more, dog. You know
it's just how you play. Terrible. It's just how he played. It's just how he played, man. He wasn't a great leader. He just, when times went rough, he kind of just let his emotions get the best of him, doing the thumbs down sign to the fans, just little things like that. Now, for some fans, they don't care. I didn't really care too much. Like he didn't do thumbs down to me. I don't care. Like I didn't care that much about it. But some fans feel away about that. But I just think overall how he played, it just wasn't good enough. RJ Barrett got the extension 120 in the offseason. They got him for 4 more years. So this is an interesting team. You see it right here. They went 37-45. Their second half of the season was horrendous, losing games where they shouldn't have lost, losing games to the Thunder, the Trailblazers, after being up 20 in the fourth, blowing a 20-point lead. So the Trailblazers with no Damian Lillard. They had Josh Hart and I can't even name some of those other guys. They might not even be in the A right now. Those games that they lost to against those bad teams. So yeah, man. I guess I see 40 wins, maybe. I can see 41-41, but until I actually see those guys step on the court, actually play, I'm not optimistic about the squad.
Oh, the Knicks, man. I mean, I'm not a Knicks hater. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'm also not a Knicks hater as well. I want to see the team succeed. I was one of the more excited people, like when they did make the playoffs in 2021. But obviously, going into last year, it just wasn't that good of a year. But I think this is a year where RJ Barrett really does take the keys, in my opinion, as a number one option. Like I see All-Star year for RJ Barrett. Does that mean the Knicks are going to be like a playoff team this year? Probably not, in my opinion. But I think just looking at the second half of the All-Star break last year, watching RJ get like 46 against Miami and get like, other 30-plus point games, like he has the tools, and I think he has the mentality to really be that number one guy. Now it's going to be all about whether Coach Thibodeau really trusts him as being that number one option, because I think we all agreed that it can't be Randall. I think Randall's still a good player, but I don't think that he can be that guy for your team. So I think your other option definitely has to be RJ Barrett. So I'm honestly excited that Donovan Mitchell is not with the team, because I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to say it right here. I think in 5 years, RJ Barrett's going to be a better player. But I think this will be his year. I think that this is his year where he takes a big leap. I feel like he's going to have an All-Star year, and it may not result in like a playoff in like any playoffs, but I think it'd be a good. I think it'd be a good step forward.
Well, the New York Knicks, I've got them at 40 wins, so I've got to win in a few more games, but I still think that they are going to be bad. I do like the ad of Brunson. I really like that.
I forgot about him.
Do you think Brunson's or RJ will be better than Brunson this year?
Yeah, I do. Personally, in my opinion, yes. I'm not
like Brunson's going to.
I'm not saying Brunson's going to have a bad year. Like I just think that RJ is going to be the number one option, in my opinion. Like Brunson will probably be 2.
Okay, I just feel like if they're going to pay that much for Brunson, I feel like he would be the number one option for the team, especially coming in at guard like that. But. I'm not mad at that. And we'll just see how it goes. I mean, 40 wins would be tough for them to get, I have a feeling.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. The only thing I'm excited about, I'm excited about our young players, but then I'm scared. I'm scared because Tom Thibodeau doesn't play young guys. So, but now he kind of has no choice but to, because all the veteran guys are gone. So if he doesn't play those guys, he has to go. Again, I'm not a fan of Thibodeau's offensive scheme. It's very stagnant. It's the opposite of Mike D'Antoni, to where he's all defense, no offense. Mm-hmm. So it's a tough watch when
bring back Mike Woodson, man.
Should have he should have been the head coach. He should have been the head coach when he was there being the offensive coordinator before he went and took the University of Indiana job. And they were actually they had some success offensively in the half court. They had multiple sets they could run.
What Kentucky coach did y'all bring?
You mean Kenny Payne?
Kenny Payne.
He went to Louisville. He went to Louisville.
And then you all stunk pretty bad.
We lost good assistant head coaches.
I mean,
those guys. Mike Woodson should have been the head coach, and Kenny Payne should have been the top assistant coach. That's how it should.
I mean, I say that joking a little bit, but when we lost him at Kentucky, we were horrible.
And when we lost him, you saw what happened last year. So, you get quality assistant coaches. Quality assistant coach. To me, Tom Thibodeau I know he won Coach of the Year. I know he's won a lot of games. To me, he's a glorified defensive coordinator. That's what he is to me. We've seen it in Chicago. We saw it in Minnesota. We're seeing it in New York. That's what he is. So, yes, is he the best coach the Knicks have had in 20 years, 25 years? Yeah, but that's not saying much because the last 25 years for the Knicks have been, outside of the Mike Woodson years, 2-3 years have been terrible. So, dirt. So, I mean, listen, man, 40 wins sounds about right for me, man. I just want to see the young guys be able to develop, get an opportunity to play. And I agree with Nick. I just don't think Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, they're not a good duo. They don't work. They don't mesh. And because Julius Randle he doesn't want to play off the ball. And if you don't want to play off the ball, you got to try to ship you somewhere else.
He needs to, because it's starting to look kind of disgusting seeing Randle, be in isolation, especially especially at the top of the key. Like it's disgusting. I'm sorry.
I just feel like the sad part of this is he's gonna get traded and to a place that's really good, and he's gonna understand the importance of playing off the ball, and it'll make him a better player, like Wiggins.
Golden State.
He could go there. I mean,
please no.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he's not willing to buy in and play off the ball, like Wiggins went from 25 points per game to 16, 17, but on much more efficient numbers. And an all-star, exactly. And an all-star appearance, exactly. So, man, I just don't see that duo working, bro. Randall and RJ, I don't see it working out. They got to mix it up. They got to get somebody else in there. Or, let my guy Obi get some minutes.
But the thing about it is, how do you even trade Randall? Because I don't think anybody really wants him. Because, his value is not as high as it once was a year ago.
Yeah, he wouldn't get offers obviously like Mitchell. He wouldn't be the talk of the offseason like how Donovan Mitchell was. It'd probably have to be like a 3-team type trade.
Yeah.
Where, situationally two other teams need money, or they want to pick, they feel like Randall could be a good piece for them on their squad that could be a borderline fringe contender type team, something like that. That's how I see it happening down the road. But again, I just don't see this duo working out for much longer. We have already seen 3 years of it. This will be the 4th year. So, all right, man. That
Knicks.
So yeah, that wraps it up for the episode. Again, everybody that was tuned.
No more trivia.
Oh, you know what? I forgot, man. I forgot about the trivia. Let me see if I can post something up real fast.
Well, good. While you are waiting or looking for that, Nick, guess what else that you missed when you weren't here?
Yo,
did you win last week?
Michael got obliterated last week.
I did. CJ
won. It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad, bro.
We got something new. We got some Java seeds that came in. Whoosh. In case you didn't know about this, as you can see scrolling down there, go to javaseeds.com, get 20% off your purchase with our promo code BUCKET. And you can get 20% off all your purchase. And we went on there and actually showed it how easy it was. You just click on it, and it asks for the promo. And it'll thank you. It was like a 3-pack, which is what I have here. It was like $16, $17. After I put my promo code in, it knocked it down to like $15 plus the shipping on there. And it helped out tremendously. So if you guys love sunflower seeds, if you love coffee, flavored. The way this actually was more, actually it says right here, 2 cups of coffee per bag, and here's a little bag size. It was made from a college student who needed to stay awake in his dorm to study for class. So he infused the two together, coffee to keep him awake with sunflowers. He was a baseball player, so he loved to eat sunflower seeds and drink coffee. So with that, again, javaseeds.com, use promo code BUCKET for Count the Bucket and get 20% off your purchase. Bam.
Java Seeds, make sure to check it out.
That's pretty good promo talk there, brother. Can't lie.
Oh, thank you.
That was pretty good, man.
He wrote that. You wrote that, didn't you? Or did you go off the top?
That's straight off the top.
Impressive.
Promos.
Thanks. Well, this ain't my first rodeo.
Right.
Have you found us a quiz yet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. About to
listen
right now.
I just have to ask: am I hearing crickets in somebody's like outside?
It's probably me.
I absolutely am loving that, boys.
I'm in the South, bro. Like I'm in the South, man.
That's what I mean. It feels like summertime because I can hear that. I'm just like, man.
Yeah,
like
I'm not gonna lie. Like
porch.
It rained practically all day here, so it was really flooded everywhere. So you hear like the frogs and crickets and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy.
Totally fine. I love it.
It's the South, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure they probably don't get that in New York.
CJ, do you ever hear frogs? And no.
Nah, bro. Just sirens.
I mean, I can understand.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
CJ,
a lot of sirens and dirt bikes. But when I'm down there in South Carolina, when I'm in South Carolina, definitely you hear a lot of nature. You hear it's much more peaceful. You don't hear all the noise and the people screaming and yelling about whatever they're yelling about. Yeah, gotcha. New York is its own beast. All right, so we're pulling up the screen now for the trivia.
Listen, I'm nosy and I know it, but so what part of South Carolina do you go to? Is that like vacation or something? You got family down there or what?
Yeah, I got family down there. My mom is down there. She's in a small town called Sheldon. South Carolina is close to Beaufort.
Beaufort, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close to. Yeah, I think it's around maybe a couple, maybe about a 45 hour away from Columbia a little bit. But yeah, it's a small town, man. In South Carolina, man. Yes, that's where my mom is at currently.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I'm on my CJ.
That's where it all started.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think she's watching on the tablet or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, first question. We got Pacers coach Frank Vogel was an assistant coach for which team in 2004 and 2005? No multiple choice. So we really gotta see where the mindset is at.
I'm gonna assume
2004, 2005.
I'm too old.
I don't know, man. Sheesh. I don't know. Detroit.
I know where he went to college.
Assistant coach, Kentucky. 2004, 2005. I'm gonna say the Pistons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Detroit, but I don't know.
Yeah, Michael, what's your thoughts? What you think?
I was gonna say either.
It's taking a lot of time, man. I mean, I feel like we're diving into Google here. What's up?
Oh no. Phone's here. Blake.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at the other screen. So.
Oh. Taking a lot of time.
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like it might be actually like a college team, but that wouldn't make no sense. It's an NBA quiz. So let's just go with 2004, 2005. My senior year, Pistons were good then, like y'all are saying.
I also want to say I'm
going to go Lakers.
Nah, I don't think. I think I remember seeing Frank Vogel like during that whole brawl in Detroit that year.
Actually, that you said
I don't remember, but I feel like I did.
All right, let's see.
Actually, I think you are right because I watched that recently this year, and I was like, "Hey, I want to say you actually are right on that."
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since I watched it.
I'm gonna go with Lakers. So.
You're gonna go with Lakers. Nick and I going with the Pistons. All right.
The Philly. Yeah, we were wrong.
Way off. All right. Which player was the Los Angeles Clippers' first pick in the 2010 NBA draft? Blake Griffin?
No. He was. I thought it was 09.
Oh, no, you're right. Again. You're right.
Yeah, he was 09 because he ended up missing that whole first year.
Then he pick. Oh, I'm gonna say Eric. Is it Eric Gordon?
Eric Gordon or Eric Bledsoe?
Ooh.
I don't. Dang, we need multiple choice, yo.
Wasn't Eric Gordon? Didn't he play for the Pelicans?
I thought that was after.
He got drafted by the Clippers. Damn, okay. I shouldn't have said nothing. Oh, I'm helping you, man. Damn, we're competing.
Well, Nick already told you no, that it wasn't Blake Griffin.
True.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway,
I'm confident. I ain't telling y'all no.
I think it was Eric Bledsoe. I think it was. Because he was a part of that Kentucky team with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it was Eric Bledsoe.
All right, let's see.
I'm not going with the
Al-Farouq
Aminu. I forgot all about Aminu.
Yo, we are
Eric Bledsoe was 09. I wasn't going to pick that, but I wasn't going to tell y'all that.
All right, what team did Doc Rivers coach at the start of the 1999 season?
The Clippers?
The Magic?
I thought he went to Magic a little later, but no. It couldn't have been the Clippers. What am I thinking? The Hawks, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna say the Hawks.
Okay, I'm going with the Magic.
Which team did Doc coach at the start?
Yeah, we are terrible.
We need the multiple choice.
I'm saying, man.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Boston.
All right, let's see. Orlando Magic.
I thought that was later though.
Orlando Magic.
I don't even remember him coaching for Orlando.
Wow. Yeah, remember that they were supposed to. Remember Tim Duncan was supposed to go to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Duncan had that meeting with Doc.
Yeah.
Kind of rubbed them the wrong way.
They would have. I think they would have let his wife.
That almost sounded horrible.
I think they wouldn't let his wife on a plane or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And
yeah,
it could have been Tim Duncan.
Can you imagine in T-Mac and on top of that, Grant Hill was still pretty good at that time.
Crazy. Brandon Knight, Kentucky.
Doc has a lot of stress.
Doc can't win for nothing, can he?
Yeah, I think that was his first blown lead over there too. He was in Orlando. Brandon Knight, Kentucky guy.
Yes, sir.
Which position during his rookie NBA season? So
I think the two. I thought he was naturally a point guard, so I'm going to assume the two. I'm going to assume the shooting guard.
I'm going to say two as well. I'll help you guys.
He got drafted by
the Bucks.
I think it was Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna say that. I think Brandon Jennings was still there.
Yeah,
it was Brandon Jennings, Monte.
I think Monte wasn't there yet. He was still in
Golden State. He wasn't there
yet? Yeah.
Okay.
I think he might have been Golden State.
Who was on that team then?
They had Bogut.
Yeah, they had Bogut.
They had Delfino. They had Carlos Delfino was there. Ilyasova, I think, was there too.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So let's see. Point guard. Wow.
Yeah, what is
that? Was tried to trick us. That
was an alley-oop, bro.
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to be.
Steph Curry led all rookies in which category in the 2009-10 season? I'm gonna say 3-point makes.
Yeah, probably 3-point.
So it's obvious answer.
Sure.
All right, 3 for 3. Steals.
Yo, you're so wrong, yo.
Wow. CJ is gonna win with one correct answer. Orlando.
Yeah, I might. Who led the Chicago Bulls in assists per game in 2010, 2011?
I'm gonna say Joakim Noah.
I'm gonna say Derrick Rose.
I'm gonna go with Rose. Although Noah was a triple-double machine.
You know what I'm saying? Noah was a good passer.
Yeah.
And I know Rose was more of like an offensive scoring guy.
All right, let's see.
Yay!
Yo, what in the
I'm
world?
on the board. Who goes with Joakim Noah? Wow.
All right,
This guy's got a talk show, basketball. What?
Hey, don't be sleeping. Don't be disrespecting Noah.
I'm not mad.
What number uniform did Kevin Garnett wear on the 2007 Timberwolves? 21.
Was it not 21? I'm about to say, like, I know, like, he didn't switch to 5 until he went to Boston, which was the next year. I want to go 21.
I think 21. Because I see that big old hefty white guy that took off his jersey and danced and everything. They brought him back years later to do it, and it's like retirement. I'm pretty sure it's 21.
All right.
I sure hope so.
It was 21.
Knicks on the board. CJ 3, me 2, Nick 1.
When did y'all get 3?
CJ got 3. I got 2.
You got 3?
Yeah, I got Orlando Magic, Derrick Rose, and then this one right, KG.
Yeah.
What year did Steve Nash earn his first trip to an NBA All-Star game? I'm gonna say 2003.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was in the '96 draft too. I'm gonna say 2001, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. What year did he go to Dallas? I can't remember.
Or he
got
drafted. He got drafted by Dallas.
Was it Dallas or Phoenix? Yeah. It was Phoenix, and then he
got drafted by Phoenix, and then got traded.
Yeah, then he went to Dallas. Then he went back to Phoenix.
Then he went back to Phoenix, right?
I'm gonna say 99.
99. Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna say 2002.
All right, I said 2003. 2001.
We were in the middle.
We skipped.
Right. We missed one. In 2010, the Miami Heat acquired Chris Bosh from what team? Toronto Raptors.
Toronto. It's alley-oop.
Yay.
Who was unable to participate in the 2018 NBA All-Star Game due to a knee injury? Jimmy Butler.
Was it Jimmy? I'm gonna go Jimmy too then, I guess. I don't really.
18. Let's see here. Golly, just nothing seems like it happened after COVID now. Oh.
Yeah,
to a knee injury?
Kyrie?
I know Cousins didn't play because of the Achilles. I remember something with Butler sitting he didn't play, like he was at the edge of the bench. It might have been 2018. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna just stick with Jimmy Butler.
Did Chris Paul sit out a year because of the knee?
I'm gonna go with Kyrie.
You're gonna go Kyrie? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Because I feel like Chris Paul one time just to do an assist or whatever did one assist and then took himself out of the game in an All-Star. But you know what? Right. I'm gonna go with Kawhi Leonard.
I go Kawhi Leonard. All right, let's see. Who is it? John
Wall.
Wow,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That makes sense.
Now that we see it, it definitely does. Who passed Kobe Bryant as the leading scorer in NBA All-Star history? LeBron.
The King.
LeBron.
You're going with Larry Bird? Because I'm going to go with LeBron.
So I'm going with
LeBron is
King
better than Larry
James.
Bird, guys. Come on, man.
LeBron. 5, 4, and 3.
Oh man,
I don't know this one.
NBA star Kevin Love's. I know this. I forgot the name of the band. Kevin Love's uncle Mike Love is the founder of which rock band? Oh my gosh.
What?
The name of the band, bro?
I'm gonna say Queen. I'm just
I
random.
forgot the name of the band. I used to know this.
No cheating, CJ.
Nah, I'm not, bro.
You looking down, CJ.
Yo, hands free.
Hey Siri.
Hands free.
Hey Siri.
I've already come to terms that I'm gonna get it wrong because
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rock band. He's around my age, so I mean, honestly, Queens. That probably ain't a bad guess.
Nah, they're a pop band. Like a poppy type band.
Yeah, but like what decade?
I think it was the 80s.
80s had pop bands?
I'm trying to think, man.
I'm going to go with the Bee Gees.
I feel like the Bee Gees. I don't know. I forgot the name. I'm going to have to just.
I'm going with Bee Gees.
All right. Let's see.
The
Beach Boys.
That's
That's man. I knew it.
Such a good group. And that's definitely not the 80s, just so you know. It's more like the 50s.
I couldn't tell you, bro. Who signed the college letter of intent in 2001 then decided to go pro?
It was probably the 01 draft. I know Kwame went number 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Me too. Kwame Brown.
I'll go Kwame.
3 for 3.
Yep, Kwame.
Because we had that last week, didn't we?
I think so. I think we did. Kwame Brown. Why are these repeating?
Because we were like, we had no clue. We're like,
This is a new page. Yeah, I do remember. Now I remember that now, yeah. At what age, this is the last two. At what age did NBA point guard Derrick Rose win the MVP award in 2011? 22.
Dang,
yeah, 22. Yeah, it's 22.
All right, 22. I thought it was 23. But like 22.
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
All right, then the last one is what NBA star grew up as the son of a 15-year-old single mother? Whoa.
Probably LeBron. I mean, LeBron's mom was young. I think she was like 15, 16.
Was she that young? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to go LeBron, man. I mean, I can't really, off top, I can't think about anybody else.
I have to pick someone different than you to have a chance to tie you. So which NBA star grew up as the son, thank goodness, of a 15-year-old single mother? I mean, I'm going to go Kobe.
Kobe's dad played in the NBA. Kobe had his.
That's true. That's a dumb answer. Okay, yeah, I have to go LeBron because I think you guys are right. Dang it.
Allen
Iverson. I mean that is true, but
I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
CJ wins.
Let's get it.
I had 6. Nick had 5. Oh, tough loss. CJ back wins. You now
I'm catching up to you now, bro.
Yeah, I've got 4 wins for the year. Oh, wait. No, we're tied. Because I took that one, the tie or the co-wins that me and Nick had, and I took it away so Nick could have 1 for himself. So no, it's a 3 and 3, and then Nick has 1. Dang it. I don't like this now. Got to start using Google.
Nah, man.
Start using Google.
Yeah. We got to go back to multiple choice. I got to get them old questions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It was a little difficult with the multiple choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It was fun though.
All right, so yeah, that wraps up this episode of Count the Bucket. Nick, Michael, where can the people find you?
Yes, follow me on Twitter, NickAndreATR. Make sure to follow us here at Count Bucket USN, and that's about it.
Oh, that's it? No new articles you dropping right now?
There'll probably be some later on in the week. I don't have anything like planned out. Like you'll just have to wait.
Count the Bucket. You can find me, of course, Count the Bucket at USN, as you just said. Also, you can find me personally, MD Lawson 00. And in my bio should have my link tree that has information to everything that I got. Obviously, we do this every Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, where we will continue on with each division, breaking them down up till the kickoff, where hopefully we can have us a good panel work like we did with the NFL. Also, CJ, I said 10 win Steelers. Y'all made fun of me. They're already 1-0. Just throwing that out there. But also, I've got a baseball show on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time with our good friend Connie, who's been on with me and CJ a few times on everything. But Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time is Backstop Banter, backside of my cup. Bam! Check that out. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. Also, be sure to follow the podcast. I do apologize. I didn't put up the last episodes. I got it downloaded, ready to go. Just need to send it on in. So look for both episodes to be dropping this week very soon. This episode that we just recorded and last week that I have ready to go.
Right, yeah, linktree.com/cjames9. You can find me on Twitter at cjames9_. In my Linktree, I have everything that I'm working on. My show's on the NFL and the NBA, Knicks, and the Patriots. So look out for me for all those shows, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for the next time we go live. Shout out to YouTube, yes, sir. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
And also shout out to Java Seeds.
Java Seeds,
yes. Use your promotion code BUCKET. Get some seeds.
Yes, sir.
Deuces,
man.